So the situation in Afghanistan is pretty terrible right now. I'm sure all of us have seen the news, seen videos. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. In one way, you can look at it like the American war with Afghanistan is finally finished after 20 years. All right, 2 decades. Wow. What a huge goddamn war to be in. I think it's America's longest war ever. All right. But the worst thing that has come out of this, of America leaving, is now that, the Taliban are back in business. They are well and truly back in business. And Joe Biden said in all these videos that it wouldn't happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The Taliban will not rule. The Taliban will not have a chance against the Iraqi army, right? Well, basically, the Iraqi Prime Minister President has left. He's left to save his life, and rightly so. If he would have stayed, he would have been killed. Let's talk a little bit about this, right? This is some pretty terrible news happening right now. Afghanistan, all right, people fell to death mid-air after climbing onto a US Air Force plane in desperate bid to escape. Now, we've all seen a lot of these images and pictures, but, let's show you some of them right now. Why are these people fleeing, right? Why are these people trying to escape? They're all trying to get on an American airplane to leave the country in Kabul airport, right? It's a terrible situation. Why are they doing this? They're all clamoring on the side of the airplane, which ultimately did not end well when the aircraft took off. And, why are they doing this? Well, they're trying to escape the Taliban. All right? For what was the purpose of this war with, America? America obviously went there because of 9/11, right? It was a terrible situation when 9/11 happened. The World Trade Center was blown up with airplanes. There was an airplane in the Pentagon. The Twin Towers fell down. There is an engine piece from the aircraft that's actually fallen into the ground when they were trying to dig up the World Trade Center. And of course, there's the actual Pentagon still shots of the building getting, an airplane through it. So yeah, September 11th, 2001 was the reason America went to war with Afghanistan and the Taliban and multiple different terrorist groups that are over there, right? Osama bin Laden, public enemy number one, right? But going back to this for a second, let's show you some more videos. What do you think this represents? This image right now, what do you think this reminds you of? Maybe a particular movie that you've seen in the past? Maybe World War Z? We'll show you that in a second. It's a kind of a trending video and picture at the moment. But look at these guys hanging on the side. I'm going to show you a never before seen video in a second. But, they're basically trying to avoid the Taliban. There goes the airplane with people hanging off the side. And in a second, we will show, there's a guy falling to his death right there. Bam. All right. Terrible situation. So what could America have done better to prevent this? I don't know. But it does seem that Joe Biden is kind of to blame for this. He is the commander-in-chief. Apparently he was getting information to not leave so early. But he's the commander-in-chief, and whatever he says goes, right? Whatever the president of the United States says, that's what the Army and the Navy and everyone under the US flag will do, because he is the leader, right? So it looks like he's made terrible decisions, and, here's the Taliban entering the presidential palace, people falling from the airplane. Terrible situation. Let's go to this one right here. Here is the Taliban in the actual presidential office. Shock new video shows Afghans sitting on the US Air Force jet as it prepares to depart Kabul airport. Now, this is the image I wanted to show you. Take a look at this. This is shot from some of the people that were actually on the airplane as it was about to take off. Look at them all. These people are desperate to avoid their homeland because of an ideology, an idea, right? Which has become a terrorist group, internationally known and recognized terrorist group, all right? Why was the US unable to eradicate this situation? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But they obviously could have done things a lot better than they did. Here's some still photos of them on the aircraft themselves. Terrible, terrible. Now, 7 killed at the airport because of this evacuation order. So they obviously bummed up the evacuation. Now, this reminds me of when Vietnam when the Vietnam War was actually happening, and there was the last-ditch attempts for America to actually leave Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. All right, I've been to Saigon, I've been to Ho Chi Minh. It's actually the same city with two different names. Long story, we're not going to get into that. But yes, there's this famous shot of a helicopter leaving the building, which we will show you in a second. But they're saying, people, historians are saying that America leaving Vietnam, well, it was a terrible situation, but now America leaving Afghanistan is 10 times worse than when they left Vietnam, because there was the war between North Vietnam and South Vietnam. Terrible situation, and that was terrible. People were trying to get out of the country, out of Vietnam, but this is apparently 10 times worse. What went so fucking wrong? I don't know. Trump has called on Biden to resign in disgrace over the crisis in Afghanistan. So former President Donald Trump Sunday called on the President Biden to basically resign in disgrace over his handling in the Afghanistan withdrawal and other issues, right? It is time for Joe Biden to resign in disgrace for what he has allowed to happen to Afghanistan. And along with the tremendous surge in COVID cases in America and the border catastrophe that Biden has completely fucked up with the border, absolutely. The destruction of energy independence and crippled our economy, the former president wrote in a statement. That's another thing that we could talk about. Joe Biden absolutely stuffed up Donald Trump's plan to build a border wall between Mexico and America, right? Donald Trump, throughout his presidency, was building this wall, and they built a lot of it. Now, there was a wall there to begin with in some little parts between Mexico and America, but obviously, huge 1,000-kilometer segments didn't have a wall, and Donald Trump was trying to finish off that wall because drug dealers and and smugglers were smuggling, human traffickers, stuff like that. Bad people were coming in illegally, potentially terrorists. Potentially, I mean, if you're a terrorist wanting to get into America, the best chance to get into America would be via Mexico. And Donald Trump was almost finished his wall, but basically when Biden came to office, Biden stopped production of the wall. I don't know if it's been continued. I don't think it has, but there are actual segments ready to be installed of the border wall right now that have been stopped because Biden said, no, that's it, I'm president now, don't build it anymore. Fuck me! Give me strength! Anyway, going back to this, yes, Biden should probably fucking quit after this. Now, this is what I'm talking about. What does this remind you of? Well, World War Z, right? Horrific chaos at Kabul airport has been compared to scenes from Brad Pitt's movie, which is a zombie movie called World War Z. Now, in the movie, on the left, you see all the people running towards an airplane. Of course, in that movie, they're all zombies, okay? They're all zombies trying to eat the human flesh because, human. Oh. But this is a more serious situation when we talk about these people on the right who, most of them want to get out of a country that they know is being surrounded by terrorism. Terrorists are coming into the capital. And, here they are running again. And there's another shot from the World War Z movie. And, Biden, I don't have the videos on me right now, but they're all over the internet. Biden has famously said to reporters just before they left Afghanistan that, no, I don't believe that Afghanistan will be run over by terrorism. The Afghanistan army will take care of them. Everything will be fine. There's so many things he said which simply were completely the opposite. And if you listen to the way Biden speaks, it honestly makes me think of someone with Alzheimer's or a mental disability. The guy sounds like he has speech impediment and he talks slow and he just has the sound of a man in his voice and the characteristics of, visually speaking, when you see him, he has the characteristics, in my opinion, of someone who should not be fucking running the biggest country with nuclear weapons on Earth, right? Like the world leader. There's no other president or prime minister bigger than Biden right now, right? And he's fucking got dementia. And a lot of people, a lot of experts in the know are basically saying the same thing, that this guy has got problems and that he should be, how the fuck did he even become president in the first place? It makes me wonder, if Donald Trump had actually won his second term as president, well, I would have made a lot of money because I bet on him. But anyway, I lost that money. Fuck. But had he won, Trump was known as a goddamn good leader. He might have been hated by some people for potentially groping women fucking years ago, or he may have been hated for things that he said, but fuck me, he was a great leader. Like, the guy was, he was hated for certain things he said and did, but who gives a shit? His leadership skills were on point compared to other presidents that have gone by. I'm not going to name any names. Obama. Trump did a pretty good job, especially considering fucking Biden, what he's been doing now. This is terrible. Trump was the first president to basically have a handshake with a North Korean dictatorship leader, actually on the soil, since a number of years have gone by type thing. Trump almost got peace with North Korea. Almost. What could he have accomplished if he had another 4 years? Well, Luckily, he may be becoming president again someday. So when Joe Biden's term comes up, or when he leaves office or something like that, prematurely, because he's not fucking well up here, Donald Trump probably will be likely running again in office. So that's another conversation for another day. But yes, World War Z. Why is the Taliban's Kabul victory being compared to the fall of Saigon? Well, let's talk about the situation right now. So this is a photo of a Chinook, is it a Chinook? Helicopter landing on the roof of the US Embassy in Kabul, Afghanistan. And this is, the helicopter is trying to evacuate people, top officials from the US Embassy, right? And by the way, the US Embassy, there was notes saying destroy all American flags in the embassy, do not leave any sort of American memorabilia in this embassy, because when the embassy becomes overrun, almost $1 billion embassy, it's, minus a couple of $100 million or something, I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of money. The embassy now is owned by the Taliban, right? But basically they said, remove all flags and destroy them if you can, because we don't want the Taliban or any other terrorist organization using it for propaganda. Think of, the Taliban taking hostage some American citizens, for example, and putting a gun to their head and videotaping it to the world, for example, and saying, with an American flag in the back. So, propaganda videos like that, your president in Afghanistan has caused this to happen, bang, bang, they don't want the American flag in the back. So according to news reports, they have destroyed a lot of American flags, which is, something you never want to do. America's very proud of themselves and they absolutely love their flag. I think it's a beautiful looking flag, but the flag actually represents the country and what the country stands for. And to basically have American officials telling other American officials in Afghanistan to destroy these flags, I mean, that really means something, doesn't it? It really means something. You feel that inside of yourself. You feel that deep inside. I've made my picture-in-picture really, really small, and it will be small for the rest of this video. I'm sorry, it's just the problem with my A10 Mini Pro. I've pushed the wrong button. Anyway, continuing on with this. This image right here, sorry for the little small picture-in-picture, like I said, I can't help it. Let's go to the bottom right. This is in a very famous helicopter shot in Saigon in Vietnam, also known as Ho Chi Minh City, when the Vietnam War was coming to an end in 1975. All these people are wanting to be set free. All these people are wanting freedom. All right, from South Vietnam, from North Vietnam. I can't remember anymore. But yeah, I've been there. I've actually seen the building. There's a new building in the place now. That the old building's been demolished. That building is the what would you call it? That's the embassy, the American embassy back in the day. Interesting story. I've made some Vietnam videos on channel 1. That's where I make my travel videos. So if you feel like going to check on that, then please absolutely do. But yes, they're saying now that the Vietnam War, when America left with Vietnam, is nothing compared to what has actually happened now in Afghanistan and Kabul. all these people, all these top officials, translators, people who want to get out of the country because the Taliban's there. People that have worked with the American government and other governments and other troops, like Australia and England, for example, translators and people like that have helped the troops with translation. And I don't know what they've helped with, but I'm sure they've helped with a lot of different ways. The people that are living in Afghanistan have helped America and other countries in a lot of ways. And now, because America have left, they're now public enemy number one when it comes to the Taliban and terrorist groups. Like, they're going to be upset. Like, how dare you help the Americans? How dare you translate for the British and the Australians and whatever else? Like, these people were diplomats, right? And a lot of them couldn't escape in time because Joe Biden has apparently pressed the matter to get out the country as quick as possible. Over $1 billion, over $1 billion fucking dollars in machinery, tanks, Humvees, equipment, machine guns, rocket launchers, drones. Well over $1 billion of tech has been left in the country. And now who owns it? The Taliban. And obviously the locals are frightened for their lives. The people, women especially. I'm going to show you what the women used to look like in Afghanistan in the 1970s. You will not fucking believe it. They looked beautiful, and the clothing choices they had were amazing. But, when you've got terrorists going down the street anywhere in Afghanistan with now America's fucking technology, America's $1 billion fucking technology, drone warfare and tanks and everything is now being driven by terrorists because America failed to get this tech out in time. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just, I've seen a lot of the news stories, as I'm sure you guys have. I'm not going to say anything bad about the situation, but all I want to say is, like, people are losing their lives, and I'm against that. All right, I'm against that. The people that were helping Americans, they wanted to get out with their families, and for some fucking reason, the American government were unable to do that. Thousands are still trapped there. Thousands are still trapped there. Thanks, Joe Biden. You did a fucking great job. No. Sarcasm. Okay, so the Muslim women, sorry for the small picture-in-picture once again, I cannot change it until I turn my machine off and on again, but if I turn it off and on, the video goes bye-bye, okay? So, we're filming this live every single day, guys. Where's the sign? Live on air. Okay, so the Muslim women wearing burqa, used to wear so little clothes at one time. What is the reason behind this change? Now, look at this. This is Afghanistan in 1970. Can you believe it? Can you believe this? That's a pretty cool picture-in-picture, isn't it? What can we do with this one? Hang on. How about that? How about that for the rest of the video? I've never done this before. There we go. Yeah, Muslim women used to be able to wear these beautiful clothings, and now they're forced to wear this shit again. Wow, it's terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. A Muslim girl hiding her face. What else can we find, you guys? So yeah, this was the clothing style in the 1950s, 60s, 70s kind of thing. All right? And, it was Kabul. It was a beautiful Middle Eastern town. All right? It was a nice place. Ish, I'm guessing. I don't know. I've never been there. I've never been there in the 70s, nor have I been there now. But thankfully, I did not need to go over there. Thankfully not. But, yeah, this was the life in the 1970s, right? What the fuck happened? We'll get to that in a second. Look at these ladies, all right? Having fun in the streets. Some of them are wearing burqas or something like burqas there, aren't they? But, yeah, look at this. Women were strong. Look at the clothing they were wearing, all right? Beautiful. Something that you'd see in a Western city somewhere in the world, right? Like America or Australia in the 1970s, right? You can't wear this today. Terrible. Absolutely terrible, right? The trend of fashion design. This was, in the 1960s? Let me read this for you guys. In the 1960s, there was also work in the field of fashion designing, In 1969, a Kabul-based fashion designer named, I can't pronounce her name, was highly appreciated by Vogue magazine. This was Afghanistan, and Vogue loved this person and her fashion. Can you imagine an Afghanistan woman wearing that now? No. Terrible. Look at this. Party trends. This picture also shows that women and men were treated the same. At that time, people were more active. People who saw Afghanistan of the 70s still remember the golden period. All right? The golden period. What happened, right? Well, what happened to Afghanistan in the 1970s and 1980s? Well, at the end of 1979, I have to look at my computer screen because the teleprompter is so small with this picture-in-picture. Unfortunately, at the end of 1979, the Soviet Union sent thousands of troops to Afghanistan and immediately assumed complete military and political control of Kabul and large portions of the country, Afghanistan. So it's terrible that Afghanistan was once a thriving Middle Eastern town with, beautiful women wearing beautiful clothes, mini skirts, free. Mostly. I don't know. I was never there, but that's what they say on the internet, right? It's terrible how things have happened. Obviously, this will go down in history as a pretty significantly terrible fuck up on the Americans' behalf. Biden. God damn. I hate to be Biden right now. Not that he'd really remember what he did the day before because, his fucking Alzheimer's is coming on pretty significantly these days. I'm the president of the Australia. That's the one. Why was this guy allowed into office? When is he going to be leaving office? Will he leave? Will he be forced to leave? Will he resign? Will Kamala Harris, the black lady, will she become the first, she's the vice president, obviously, to Biden. Will she become the first president? In 2 more years, roughly, when there's a US election, what will happen? Will Trump fight to become president again? And if he does, will he win this time? Who else will also be trying to run this race of presidency? Who cares, right? It's probably going to be Trump. Trump's going to be number one. Will it be Hillary Clinton? Don't think so. We've seen the last of that bitch. Take you and your emails somewhere else. WikiLeaks, we love you. Free Julian Assange. God damn, we love that guy. He's Australian. I'm Australian. I love you guys. Stay safe. And yeah, I wish things were different for the people of Afghanistan and the surrounding countries. But fuck me, right? I love you guys. We're on 2 different channels, 2 and 1. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Tallboy Gareth. I will see you for tomorrow's video. We're making daily videos here, guys, every single day. I love you.